In addition to hosting NFL Total Access, you also get to do some reporting. That's where you kind of started at NFL Network. You were able to go up to Raiders training camp recently. They were our first preseason game. We saw the Raiders Hall of Fame game on Thursday of last week. They won. Josh Jacobs played. Derek Carr, Devontae Adams, they did not, as you would expect. We did not expect Josh Jacobs to play. What did you learn most about the team when you were watching practice up there?
First of all, this team is having way too much fun, I find, which I don't think is a thing, honestly. But that practice that I watched on Back Together Saturday at the Raiders facility, they just looked like a bunch of very large kids having a good time out on the field. I felt like they were clicking. I felt like everything was in rhythm. Devontae Adams at that practice, I've never seen someone float through routes the way that he does. It's inexplicable. He's just built differently. He's a different caliber of wide receiver in this league. I got to talk to him briefly. I got to talk to Max Crosby, which, by the way, the evolution of Max Crosby is one of my favorite things to watch across the National Football League. I watched him there. I was still covering the Raiders in the Bay Area back in 2018 when he was drafted, I believe, in the fourth round, so a later round draft pick, and what he's done for this defense, how he comes off the edge and just the spirit of who he is. He was the last person off that field on Saturday at that practice, an extra practice for them because they started early, of course, having the Hall of Fame game on deck for them. And he was still out there getting work in. So I'm even more curious to see how he's going to elevate his game this year, given everything he's already done for that Raiders season.
I love to hear that. I love to hear that they're having fun because we hear from Niners camp that they're fighting. So, the Raiders are having fun with each other. I think that leads to chemistry and could lead to really big things for them this year. I'm curious because I love that division right now and the quarterbacks in that division. How do you think, Raiders, Chargers, Chiefs, Broncos, they all have amazing quarterbacks, Derek Carr, Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson. How do you see the quarterbacks playing for those teams? How do you see that division kind of shaking out?
I don't think we're talking about Justin Herbert and the Chargers enough, to be honest with you. I think they've been sort of like, and I don't mean this in a derogatory way, in sort of like the little brother in that division for so long, right? Like talented, great drafting, have very talented players on there, but can't seem to close out the season. And I just think that this is the year. They added Khalil Mack. They did so many other things. Justin Herbert is only getting stronger and better and more accurate. And we already saw what he did flying out the gate right when he came into the league. I think the Chargers cannot and should not be discounted in the AFC West. It's going to be highly competitive. I do think teams like the Broncos are going to take a minute to get into that flow, but once they do, I just have my popcorn ready, to be honest with you, because that entire division has turned not only that whole conference on its head, but the whole league. Like, if you're in the AFC, the road to the Super Bowl is exponentially more difficult for you.
Absolutely. And,
period.
I don't know who you think is the best quarterback out of that group. It's tough to rank them. And as blasphemous as it sounds, I have Russell Wilson fourth out of those four quarterbacks. I have him fourth. I have Patrick Mahomes. I have Justin Herbert. I think he's underrated, and I think he's legit. And then I have Derek Carr, and then I have Russell Wilson.
You know what? I don't disagree. It's hard, man. It's hard. And the thing is that ranking is going to shift depending because, listen, a team goes as its quarterback goes. We know that. That's just how the league works. It's a quarterback-driven league. So that ranking will shift as the season unfolds, and that's fine. This is a fluid journey, folks. Everyone just has to buckle up and settle in, and we got to see how this thing shakes out. Because I guarantee you, whatever we think is going to happen is not going to happen. It's going to be the opposite of that. It's going to throw us for a ride for sure.